Males, and welcome to Seminar Takeover. We only have a few weeks of school left and it's time for students to shine. But before we get into today's lesson, let's review what happened in the news.
We've been flying on Earth for just over 100 years and now we're like, yeah, we're going to go to another planet and fly. It's crazy.
This is Ingenuity. NASA hopes it will give us a different view of things and allow us to study cliffs and craters and all the other places that rovers like this one simply can't get to. It's got these carbon fibre blades and they can spin 8 times faster than the blades on a helicopter here on Earth, at around 2,400 revolutions per minute. Now, because Mars is so far away from Earth, there's too much of a delay for you to be able to control this thing with a joystick. So what's happening is scientists are sending commands way in advance. So essentially, this machine will be taking off by itself, flying by itself, and landing by itself. And flying there won't be easy. The atmosphere is 100 times thinner than it is here on Earth. It's got solar cells, batteries, 2 cameras, 1 black and white and 1 in colour, computer systems, navigation systems, all of this in a helicopter that's only the size of a chihuahua. But if it works, we could be sending more flying robots to Mars in the future, and possibly using them as scouts for human missions one day.
DMX has died after being put on life support following a heart attack. The rapper, born Earl Simmons, was hospitalized last Friday in grave condition after suffering the heart attack at his home. On Sunday, his manager, Nakia Walker, told the New York Times that some of his family members had been allowed to visit him at White Plains Hospital in New York, where he had been in a, quote, vegetative state. Walker also told BuzzFeed that DMX had lung and brain failure and no brain activity at that time. According to NBC News, the rapper's attorney, Murray Richmond, previously confirmed that DMX was admitted to the intensive care unit after suffering the heart attack. NBC News also reported that he had to be resuscitated and was put on life support. Richmond reportedly did not know what caused the heart attack and was unable to confirm a report from TMZ about an alleged drug overdose. DMX had been open in the past about his struggle with drug addiction and his stints in rehab in 2017 and 2019. The rapper began his music career in the 90s and released his first studio album, It's Dark and Hell is Hot, in 1998. He was nominated for 3 Grammy Awards throughout his career. DMX was 50 years old.
To the surge now of deadly shootings in America. 2 more over the weekend in Austin, Texas and Kenosha, Wisconsin, following the Indianapolis FedEx murders on Thursday. And take a look at this map. Since the Atlanta spa killings in March, there have been more than 50 mass shootings in the United States. Police have concluded that the guns in the FedEx shooting were purchased legally. Will Carr has the latest.
This morning, new details in that mass shooting at a FedEx facility in Indianapolis that just left 8 innocent people dead. ABC News has learned that a year before the attack, the alleged shooter, a 19-year-old who previously worked at FedEx, was flagged by law enforcement, his own mother calling police last March, fearing he might turn violent. FBI questioning the teen at the time, police taking a shotgun away from his home and placing him on a temporary mental health hold. 4 months later, authorities say he legally bought an assault rifle, then later bought another. Authorities say he used both in the attack. Indiana has a red flag law which bars anyone legally deemed dangerous from buying or owning a gun for at least 6 months.
Could this law, if it had been implemented, possibly have stopped this attack?
Sure, it could have.
Indianapolis's police chief says it's unclear why that didn't happen, and they're now looking into whether his case was ever brought before a judge.
This morning, the United Kingdom is saying its final farewell to Prince Philip. Queen Elizabeth's husband of nearly 74 years died last week. While the nation grieves the father, grandfather, and great-grandfather of future kings of England, only a handful of mourners will be inside St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle for the funeral services.
By the standards of the royal family, famous for its pomp, Philip's funeral will be a bare-bones ceremony, which is apparently what he would have wanted. Members of the military have been practicing their parts for a man who was a hero of the Second World War. The Queen had to make some difficult decisions about which family members could come.
She is saying farewell to someone to who she was married for 73 years. That must be a very, very profound thing in anybody's life.
After her coronation in 1953, Philip was consort to the Queen for nearly 7 decades. known for his charity work and his lack of political correctness. But the British public knew very little about the private life of the monarch and her husband.
Now more than 138.3 million cases of coronavirus confirmed worldwide. Death toll here. Cannot believe this number. Couldn't imagine we would get to this. We're talking about 564,000 plus American lives lost to this virus. Vaccination numbers on the rise as well. CDC now reporting we're closing in on 123 million adults receiving at least one dose of that vaccine.
Yep, and that's they released some clinical information. So let's take a closer look because this information is interesting. All 6 of these cases of rare blood clots so far have occurred in women who were white. 1 out of 6 of those women were on hormones. They were taking estrogen and progesterone, which can also increase clotting risk. Half of them were obese, but none had a history of clotting disorders. And I think what's important to remember, their symptoms, 5 out of 6 of them had initial early symptoms of headache. Later, that progressed. 4 out of 6 of them had neurologic findings like arm weakness, difficulty speaking, indicating this clot in the brain.
So no change in lifting the pause, but still some recommendations. Something came out of this about recommendations for the public.
Absolutely. For the public and for healthcare providers, they are suggesting that anyone who's gotten the J&J vaccine in the last 3 weeks be on the lookout for certain signs and symptoms: a severe headache, abdominal pain, leg pain. If you develop those symptoms, you should seek medical attention and absolutely tell them that you've had the J&J vaccine.
All right, Dr. Ashton.
Romance is definitely in the air. You may have seen the viral video of a young man who was shopping for an engagement ring only to have Shaquille O'Neal step in and pay for it. Well, only Inside Edition was there when the young man got down on bended knee and made it official.
Social media went nuts when Shaquille O'Neal stepped up to help this guy pay for his girlfriend's engagement ring. Shaq happened to be shopping at the same Zales jewelry store in Atlanta when he overheard Dalton Davis discussing payment options for the engagement ring he was thinking of buying. So the good-hearted former basketball great handed over his credit card and paid for the ring himself.
I appreciate it.
Fast forward 5 days later, and Inside Edition was there for Dalton's big moment, proposing to his girlfriend of 6 years, the love of his life, Hannah.
Will you marry me?
Yes.
Surprise, the entire family showed up to celebrate. And get this, somehow Hannah never saw that viral video of Shaq buying her ring. So we showed her.
How? How did that happen?
Dalton says he was hesitant to accept Shaq's generous offer.
I tried turning him down, saying I couldn't accept the offer. And he insisted, and that's just a really big guy to say no to.
The happy couple say Shaq is at the top of their wedding invite list.
I would love for Shaq to be invited to our wedding.
Thank you, Shaq.
Now for today's lesson. We decided to keep it super simple and fun. Everything doesn't have to be serious. Today as a group, we're going to let our silly side out. Discuss, yes, actually talk to each other. Actually talk to each other. Today's topic is random. You know that today's topic is random thoughts. Here's an example. After you finish, pick a volunteer to make a 3-second video and send it to us. Put your name and your seminar teacher's name, and we might show it here. Yes, we know it's silly. And yes, it's kind of cringe. But it's fun, so why not? Oh, we forgot. In order to get points for today, make sure you complete the quiz. And don't worry, you can find the answer to this video. We got you. Oh, and I forgot. Make sure you check out the Earth Day video after this discussion. And stay safe, have fun, and mask up.